Every baker has at least a couple of chocolate chunk cookie recipes in their repertoire for good reason. First of all, they're delicious. There's no denying it. Even if they're not your favorite thing ever, they are mine. They're so good. You can eat them at any time of day. They're timeless, they're a classic, and they can be varied 100 million ways. Not to mention just how simple and easy they are to make, considering how much they're loved. My loves, welcome back to Maverick Baking and welcome to another recipe video. Today I'm sharing a recipe for these salted dark chocolate orange cookies. Super soft and chewy bakery style cookies with big melting puddles of dark chocolate, a generous pinch of salt, and fresh orange zest. I was inspired to make these by the discovery of a jar of orange infused salt in the back of a cupboard here, and these cookies have been a real big hit. So I hope you guys love them every bit as much as we have. Let's get into it. Our salted dark chocolate orange cookies begin with this little selection of ingredients here. You're going to want to start with some butter, ideally at around room temperature, just softened. By that I just mean kind of beat it up a little bit before we add anything else. It just makes sure that it's nice and smooth and that there's not going to be any kind of cold lumps of butter in amongst everything else. You're then going to add your sugar. I like to use a combination of white sugar and brown sugar, both for flavour and for texture. Too much of one just isn't quite it. You're going to want to add that to your butter and just mix it in. We don't need to kind of whip it until it's super fluffy as if we were making a cake. In fact, it might just look like kind of wet sand by the time it's all mixed in. You can stop with it there. There's no need to go crazy or break your wrist. To that, we're just going to add an egg. And we're also going to add the orange zest at this point, just grating in the full kind of zest of one orange and adding a little bit of vanilla, whether that's vanilla extract, vanilla paste, or the seeds from an actual vanilla bean. And you're just going to want to stir that all together. It's not going to look pretty. I'll let you know now. It might look a little bit lumpy. It might not be perfectly smooth, but as long as everything is nice and incorporated and there's no big chunks of anything, we'll be fine. To that, you're going to add the flour and then a little bit of bicarbonate of soda before adding your salt, or in my case, this lovely orange infused salt, and just mix it all together again until you have a lovely golden stiff cookie dough that looks something like this. To the dough, you're then going to add your chocolate, ideally the best quality you can afford, because your cookies will only ever taste as good as your chocolate. I used this 64% Valrhona dark chocolate just because it's a small batch of cookies and I knew they would turn out really, really nicely with this. But if you prefer milk chocolate, dark chocolate, do whatever you like. You're then going to want to chill the dough for at least 1 hour, but ideally a few hours or even overnight if you have the time and the patience, before rolling the dough into little balls and baking them for anywhere between kind of 10 to 14 minutes until they look like this. Golden, a little bit risen, nice and kind of gooey in the middle with those puddles of chocolate still melting. You can add some more salt on top if you like flaky Maldon sea salt, or in my case, I just use some more of the orange infused salt on top. You can have these warm, you can have them fridge cold, you can have them at room temperature, and I promise you, they will be absolutely delicious. They're fresh, they're rich, they're satisfying, sweet and salty all at the same time. Hope you love them every bit as much as we have.